Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Burn Bootcamp podcast. My name is Devan Kline, and I am excited to be here with you today. I'm the co-founder and visionary of Burn Bootcamp, if you weren't already aware of that. But also, more importantly, I've done over 15,000 camps as a trainer and lead the way for Burn Nation and our trainer and our culture and our team atmosphere. And one thing that we, as a collective group, really want to shift the paradigm on in this country, in this world, is shifting that mindset from weight loss to muscle gain, okay? So, I mean, for how many years have you heard about weight loss diets in the media? Okay, so I went back and I did the research, and over the last 99 years, there's been on average, one new mainstream diet per year for 99 straight years that I could find. 99. So that means we've changed our mind 99 straight times on what is the most effective way to be healthy and to eat. And by the way, they call it diet. Okay, what is diet? Let's go back to like Webster's dictionary. Ask yourself the question, what is the definition of diet? This habitual consumption of food, okay? So then, well, maybe take that a step further. Habitual consumption of food by a living organism, okay? That's a diet. Keyword being what? Habitual, meaning that's a habit. What's a habit? Inherently, a habit means that it's something that you do every day for a elongated period of time, okay? So does 99 years and 99 different diets align with the actual word and the definition of diet, a habitual consumption of food by a living organism? No, it does not, right? Because like the human physiology hasn't changed in those 99 years, okay? And so what's right and what's wrong in terms of the body is science. It's not my opinion. It's nobody else's opinion, especially not like a journalist's opinion who writes a piece in Women's Health magazine that says, you know, this new diet is the new science around the body, okay? Is like the way, you know, this is the only way to eat. Because that's just going to change next year, okay? So are you going to live the perception of what somebody else wants you to do and what somebody else thinks is a healthy way to live, or take control and take ownership of your own thought process, your own actions, your own habits, and put together a plan, a strategy that works in the long run? A strategy meaning something you can repeat inevitably forever and you don't have to change it. A strategy just works, okay? So the Apple Cider Vinegar diet, the Mediterranean diet, the Atkins diet. Cindy Crawford had a diet back in the day. Jane Fonda had one, okay? The body, the science, it has not changed, okay? And we are learning more and more, and we're going deeper and deeper into that science, and we're learning how to build muscle. And that's what I really want to shift our mindset to, is how to build muscle. So there's an episode that I talked about this in from a different perspective, a macronutrient perspective. It was actually episode 57. Macronutrients, what they are and why they're important here on the podcast. I also talked in that episode about healthy eating and travel hacks that can really change your life when you're out on the road for my corporate warriors out there. And then how to maximize your energy. Okay, that's an Ask Devan Anything episode where I took your questions in. That's episode 57. If you go back further, on episode 4, when we first started the Burn Bootcamp podcast, I did my top 5 nutrition principles, okay? And that is also another useful episode for you when it comes to, you know, weight loss and shifting from that mindset into muscle gain. So when I first started as a trainer in 2012, we kind of started or became a part of the wave, the ideology that strong was the new skinny. I know you've probably heard that before. And what we really meant by that was that lifting weights is really what you're after. This traditional sense of eat less calories and do more cardio that really was pushed in the mainstream by journalists, okay? And I love journalists. There's been some journalists in our organization, in the media, that have covered Burn Bootcamp and just been a catalyst for our growth, right? So, but that's a different story. Sometimes journalists, what they try to do is project onto you what you should believe despite them not being an expert in what they're writing about, and they want to tell you what to do without really knowing the effects of it, and also without consciously intending to pull you every year into something new to confuse you. But that inevitably does when a journalist goes after clicks and attention and headlines, well, we like new things. We don't like sticking to a diet. Habits are hard. A diet, in the definition, is habitual. Habits are really hard. There's a reason that 70% of our country is either overweight or obese, despite knowledge being everywhere. Okay, despite there being an influencer as soon as you open Instagram that can teach you what to do, Burn Bootcamp in your community, a Burn on Demand that actually covers you anywhere that you go in the world. These tools are all here. You can't really go anywhere in today's society without seeing it. So the awareness is there, but is knowledge and the awareness, is that powerful? Or is that just maybe potentially powerful just because you've got all of the tools and the resources? Isn't the power in actually just using the tools and then using the resources? Do you follow what I'm saying? This is really important, okay? Because this is part of you leading your own life and not living the life of somebody else and what their design was, this societal design of, especially as a woman, of how you should look and what you should eat. And I mean, how many times have we seen eggs in the media be debated? Eggs, literally like scientifically, if you took an egg and you broke it down and you looked at the protein to fat content and the omega-3 and 6 ratios and the biotin in an egg, there's no nutritional scientist in the world that's going to tell you that eating eggs is a bad thing for human health, okay? But then you're going to see an article that says, this year, eggs, are correlated to, high cholesterol. It's like, okay, I get it. But you're going to tell somebody to stop eating eggs, the same person that you told last year that red wine was good for you, and then the same person the year before that you said protein is toxic to the kidneys, and the year before that you said, hey, Chick-fil-A isn't so bad. It's like, you're just going, as a human, as a person, I'm talking to you, right? As an individual listening to this podcast, we've got to kind of put blinders on, drown out the noise around us, and find the experts that have no skin in the game, that I don't need your click. We don't need a membership. We don't need anything. I'm grateful if you're a member at Burn Bootcamp, but I'm going to tell you the truth, regardless of where you're at and regardless of, any paywalls or any clicks that are in front of you, okay? And so from weight loss to muscle gain, that mindset shift, that's a difficult one. That is a really difficult one. I understand it. Back in 2012 when we started, Strong is the New Skinny was a thing because members would come in and we wanted to talk about more cardio, less calories. And what you'll find is if you've actually done that for any extended period of time, that, going back to science, this is a mass conversation, right? This is a calories in, calories out conversation. It's a very mathematical, physics-oriented first principles conversation when you're talking about losing mass, okay, or shifting mass. So if I eat too many calories, if I eat more energy than I'm expending, it's as simple as that. You're going to gain tissue. If I'm not doing that, it's the opposite. I've got a calorie deficit. I'm expending more calories than I'm eating. Well, then you're going to have less mass over time. Okay. Right there is like, you could just put a period at the end of that. It doesn't matter what articles you read, what an influencer tells you, what program that you download. None of that matters. This is there are no other laws besides the laws of physics. Everything else is just a recommendation. Even our laws that govern our Constitution are just a recommendation. Laws are physics, okay? Calories in, calories out. Mass is only transference of energy. That's it. All right? Now, what type of mass that we want to attract is the next layer of the conversation. That's when we get into macronutrients, okay? Macronutrients, proteins, calories, fat. Those three macronutrients, they make up a calorie. A calorie makes up the unit of energy. The collective units of energy, all right, make up your mass. And then your mass is gain or loss based on your deficit or surplus of energy. That's the end of the conversation. Make sense? Say yes. All right. So we got to break free from these social norms. We've got to go back to the root cause of what we are trying to do. We are trying to live longer with more energy, feel better, more fulfilled, more successful, more clear, more happy, more virtuous, better character, okay, which has little to do with how skinny you are. This is not about being skinny. This is not about being overweight. This is about being healthy, okay? To get healthy, what we want to do is we want to build physique. You want to train your muscles, all right? You're going to get 3 days of conditioning at Burn Bootcamp. You're also going to get 3 days of what we call hypertrophy or hypertrophic strength training, which means that we're in between, 8 to 15 reps with our weights, and we are getting to failure, not tired. We're not getting to tired. We are getting to failure, which is a level beyond tired. It's a level beyond this burns a little bit. It's a level beyond the pain. We've got to get to failure. When you get to failure, what you're doing is actually micro tearing your muscle. You're tearing your muscle apart. Literally, if you were to zoom way in, you're tearing your muscle apart, okay? And what happens is that in the kitchen, when we consume those calories, the macronutrients that have amino acids in them, which are the building blocks of those macros, which are the building blocks of those calories, we consume our calories. Think about the calories as the little construction workers that you digest into your body. They flood your muscle and they start putting back together that muscle. Now, whether it comes back stronger or weaker is up to your nutrition. It's up to those building blocks. What materials are these little construction workers taking with them to your body to do the repairs, okay? You want protein. Minimum 100 grams of protein for every human being on the planet, okay? And if you don't know how much protein you're getting, my guess is you're probably getting 40 to 50 grams if you don't know. Even if you think you're eating a lot, you're probably getting 40 to 60, maybe 60 grams if you're consciously eating a lot, but you don't know. What I want you to do is know. What I want you to realize is that science tells us that amino acids, a protein is built from amino acids, and a complete amino acid profile is going to be the catalyst to what we call protein synthesis. That is the act of those little construction workers going through the construction process and the act of them building up your muscle stronger than it was before. So we're going to break it all the way down. We're going to consume nutrition that starts with 100 grams of protein, but ideally is your body weight in grams, when you're in a healthy body fat. Okay, if you're not in a healthy body fat, 100 or more, I'm a person that's getting 200 grams or more of protein. I don't think a human being needs more than 200 grams, okay? You can get up to 300 grams or whatever. If you're like a competitive level champion, Olympian bodybuilder, please go do that. That's fine. Us normal human beings that are just trying to get better today, to gain muscle, to live longer, to be around for our grandchildren's grandchildren, we want to build muscle, sustain muscle, because that muscle builds the frame of our body. It upholds the frame of our body. And now all of a sudden we move through life rather than atrophying our muscle. Hypertrophy is the antidote to atrophy. Atrophy is losing muscle. Hypertrophy is gaining muscle. So at Burn, you're building muscle. That's what we're doing. We have after-burn protein products, right? We have our meals that are going to be launching soon in 2024. And we have recipes on recipes on recipes to help you get that protein in. If you're not sure, go book a focus meeting with your trainer. They're going to sit down. Matt and I, we work with the trainers on a weekly, daily basis to make sure that they understand this whole concept and how to get more protein in your body so that what you're doing is building up the muscle stronger than it was before you started breaking it down in the gym. So This is the mindset I want to shift you to, okay? Remember, episode 4 and episode 57, we go a lot deeper in this. That's my time for today. Guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate your subscription to the podcast. If you're not subscribed, go to Apple Podcasts and hit the subscribe button. That way you're getting episodes right to your feed and you're getting notified when they're here. We're releasing on a cadence every week for you to just get outside of the gym, outside of the 4 walls of Burn Boot Camp, and into the 4 walls of your mind to take this journey that you're on deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay? Makes sense? Say yes. All right, you guys. Love you. We'll talk to you soon. 2 claps on 2. 1, 2.